Coming up on the Ramble today.
Slimane's a blade.
Who are the two unnamed defenders on United's list?
And is he going or what?
What is happening, Blades? Welcome back to the Blades Ramble. Thank you for your unbelievable support. Ongoing, we are rocketing up. It's Darren Smith has quickly become my most viewed video ever, and there's more subscribers than ever before. So your support is really appreciated, and I can't thank you enough for that. But today we've got loads to get into. So let's get started. Anis Slimane has finally signed his Sheffield United deal. 22-year-old, played 29 times for his country, a technical player, had a lot of first-team football, won the Danish First Division with Brøndby previously, centre midfielder. I think this is a really smart signing from United. Said to be as low as £1 million, just due to his contract situation. Could rise to 3, but wow. And listen, for that price, we can't expect a superstar, but to get a full international at 22 years old with only progress to be made, wow. So in terms of what he'll bring to United, I was of the impression, because I'd looked at his stats and his highlights, which again is never a true indicator of what a player they are, because looking at things like that and little clips online and little bits here and there, I thought he was sort of a deep lying midfielder that broke up the play. Now he has played that previously, but he's very adaptable, and he's probably more comfortable as an 8, which is slightly further forward. At 6'2", he's physical. As we've said before, he's technical. He describes himself as a bit of a box-to-box player, which is something we haven't got at the moment. So I'm really excited by this one. But the most impressive thing I've seen when I've been looking at things about him is, well, I think a video speaks 1,000 words.
I can see it in your eyes, everyone. You know why we're here today? Because we worked hard. There's no last week. There's no 4-0. You know the difference between an FCK fan and a Brøndby fan? It's because FCK fans, 80% of them, it's a trend. Oh, it's a nice shirt. But for a Brøndby fan, it's a lifestyle. Today we go out and play like we have nothing to lose. Because when we do this, we're gonna kill them. From the first minute, boys, I believe in you. We believe in us. Do we believe in us? Yeah!
So whether you believe to get excited about him in terms of what level he's at now, certainly we've signed him for what level he could potentially get to. He's got leadership qualities, and that harkens back to the signings that Wilder always used to like to make and brought us huge success, because he's a leader and he cares. He's a 22-year-old, this kid. Looking at him, you could believe he were 28, not just because of the way he looks, but because of the way he carries himself. I just think it's a smart move, this, and I'm quietly very happy about it. Before I get too far on, I just want to say very quickly, if none of you have heard or seen the Dele Alli interview on the Overlap, I would strongly recommend you go and watch it. So Dele Alli very briefly talks about his addiction to sleeping pills, what it was like as a youngster in a really traumatic family situation, and that's clearly had a profound effect on him in his adult life. The reason I mention it is because you never really know what's going on with anybody, not just footballers. You never really know. And sometimes when we're coming online, and I fall into this category myself at times, sometimes we come online and we abuse players and we sort of do them down. We don't mean it nastily or personally, but it's hard for it not to be taken that way if you're on the other end of it. So it's probably a timely reminder to people like myself who've got a bit of a platform to maybe just have a little bit of a think before we start going all guns blazing into players and, you know, their form or whether they're good enough for the team. There's ways and means of saying you don't really think they fit in. So, but fully recommend that Dele Alli interview. Get yourselves over and see it if you haven't done already, after you've watched this Ramble, obviously. Keep saying, I've sort of dropped in some hints here and there about, don't worry, the Ramble will bring you hope and things like that whenever you're sort of worried about United or wherever it might be. Well, hopefully this video explains a little bit more.
To me, the word hope means happiness and possibility.
Always room and chance for something better.
Positive thinking about the future.
Hope feels like helping people. Hope will always be the key thing that you need.
When you say the word hope, I think of inclusion, diversity and equality.
Hey Blades, I'm Hope and I'm really excited to say that I have joined the Ramble. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all and I will see you all soon. Up the Blades.
So, now I need to speak on this because some of you will think, what is going on? Can't change the Ramble. A lot of you like the Ramble the way it is. We're growing at a rapid pace. And why change it if it ain't broke? Well, I'm here to offset some of them fears for you. So, Hope is joining the Ramble, and I am absolutely delighted that she's agreed to come on. How it's going to work is we will exist as two separate entities, essentially. So, I'm completely transparent with you guys, always have been and always will be. So, I talked to you about my demographic currently. There's a huge audience that I'm not getting anywhere near because, believe it or not, some people might not like this face. Some people might not like the way I relay information. Some people might not like long-form content, which is what this is. So Hope is here to focus purely on more short-form content at this stage. So she's up on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm so excited because she's an avid blade. She knows her stuff, and she's great at sort of putting... She's different to me, but that's the whole point. So hopefully, what doesn't appeal to people on these videos, which won't change at all, hopefully they'll be interested in what Hope has to say. And it's more about being inclusive. I want to be known as an inclusive channel, but for those of you that are worried that it'll change the Ramble in any way, it doesn't have to change anything for you. You just stick to watching what you like. But if you're interested in other types of content, then Hope is here to provide that. Thank you, Hope. We can't wait for you to get started. And we'll see you soon. Now, Stephen Bettis has been in the news again. Just done a cheeky little interview with Football Daily where he says, it sort of sparked some controversy because he said there's no takeover is close. Well, that can be taken in several different contexts. And what he's saying is the Prince only wants to sell to the right man. And some people have scoffed at that because we've had... Henry Maurice, who's now in prison for wire fraud, and Dozy, who obviously there's some links to this channel, or there were at one stage, and that obviously didn't go through for whatever reason. You can make your own assumptions on that. So there's been a little bit of backlash to that I've seen. Nothing major, but how long is not how close is not close? That could be what Darren said was about a week and a half ago. 5 to 6 weeks from getting some solid news on the takeover. So that tells me things are progressing quite nicely. I would say that's probably gaining exclusivity from one party. We know that the three parties interested are all consortiums. So just watch this space with takeover. Maybe he's trying to pour cold water on it to sort of dampen expectations and refocus on the current regime, and I understand that. So interesting, but don't get too hung up on the odd interview here and there. Things will happen when they happen, and ultimately it doesn't affect this window anyway, so I would not worry too much in terms of the takeover at the moment. So something a little bit different now. I've known for a while that I need to shift some timber, and getting motivated and getting sorted and organised is an absolute nightmare for me. So as the Ramble's grown, I'm getting more and more opportunities and things like that, and sort of sponsors are coming to me and things of that nature. But I don't want to provide you guys with things that aren't what I don't feel are a good product, because it immediately affects my credibility. So I'm not going to talk to you about this person that contacted me and take, a tenner or a fiver from him. What I am going to talk to you about, though, is one that, cards on the table, always being honest. The lad who's come up with this app is a mate of mine. But I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because it's an outstanding product. It's won awards and things of that nature. It's a personal trainer in your pocket. Have a little watch of this video, see if it interests any of you. Now this is a fitness journey like never before. It's the award-winning AI personal trainer app in your pocket
from MyPT. You get a new meal plan every week after your weekly check-in, each one personalised and based on your own likes and dislikes. It's got that artificial intelligence, so there's no more human errors, no more waiting for trainers to reply. Stay on top of your progress with an easy-to-access shopping list. Track your progress with dynamic workout plans to fit around you. I'm delighted to be partnering with MyPT. It's like having your own personal trainer and nutritionist in your pocket.
So it's the MyPT app, My Personal Trainer. I'm proposing, and you're welcome to join me or not, I've downloaded the app and I've logged on and I haven't started yet because, as Curtis Woodhouse says, it starts Monday, doesn't it? But what I'm proposing is we have a Ramble reset. That's how I'm pitching it. And anybody that wants to join me on this fitness journey, we can do 4, 8 weeks, whatever we need to do, just as a little starter. If anybody wants to join me on a bit of a fitness journey and that sort of gives accountability to us all, doesn't it? And I'm putting myself out there here online, and you guys don't have to do it this way, but if anybody wants to do it, there's a link in the description for the app, and we'll join it together, and drop me a message and let me know if you've done it, and then we'll get in touch and sort of keep track of each other's progress. And if you're happy, I can reveal it on here and things of that nature, but I think it's a really exciting product and something that I'm hoping might, if you can sort of get into that lifestyle change mentality and with accountability of others, who knows where it's going to go. Anyway, who fancies some Ramble rumours? The move for Benny Traore gets closer and closer. Personal terms agreed, fee almost there, and then it's medical time to get done. So there were some rumours that Rangers were back in for him to try and match us, but from what I understand, he's looking forward to playing in the Premier League, and there's no other Premier League clubs in for him at the moment. I'm confident this one will get done. Some people were a little bit worried that they were due to come and see Hecky day before yesterday, which is Wednesday, but then he was seen at the Häcken game Wednesday night. Well, I'll tell you that you can get to Sweden in 2.5 hours, so during Sheffield in the morning and during Sweden at night, it's doable. He didn't play for Häcken. It was seen to be sort of waving goodbye to the fans. All good signs, and again, this is a player I think we should be really excited about. So, and it's not a replacement for Illiman. We want Illiman to stay, and we'll certainly move on to that in a second. So it's been reported by Nath Hemmingham today that Yasser Larouci is a target for United. He's a left wing back, French under-21 international. He played in League for Troyes last year, but they got relegated, unfortunately, but he had a standout season. You'll be able to see now from Darren's tweet that he's confirmed it. This is the player that we're after. We passed over Ryan Manning for this lad, so fingers crossed we can get a deal done. We're looking at a loan with an option to buy in United's favour. So fingers crossed, Yasser Larouci will soon be a Blade. And the eagle-eyed of you may spot a little bit further down where Darren talks about a left centre-back deal that's fallen through. Well, the Ramble's got all the news on that as well. As discussed on the very successful Darren Smith interview that we did, thank you to everybody that submitted questions. Thank you to our Ramblers. We were in for 4 players. Centre midfielder, Slimane, tick. Striker, Benny Traore, semi-tick, hopefully. A left wing back and a left centre back. I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, we've hit a bit of a bump in the road with the left centre back. And I can now tell you it was a player called Attila Zalai. He plays for Fenerbahce, and we've got good links with Fenerbahce due to Selabaki working there, who's very close to the Prince. He's a left centre-back, obviously, 25 years old, 6'4", real unit. We had an agreement in principle for a loan with an obligation to buy if we were to stay up, and it was going to be a significant marquee signing for us. Well, now a top European club in the Champions League has come in for him on a permanent. Now, we could potentially compete with that, but we can't due to the relegation clause that we insert. So it's potentially back to the drawing board with that one, I'm afraid. We'll go again. There'll be other targets on the list, but it's a Ramble exclusive there for you, and unfortunately it's not the best of news. But hopefully the next bit will be. So yes, we're all here for the same thing. We want the Illiman update. And cards on the table, I am not massively in the know with Illiman. I think I know, but what I do know is as much as anyone at the club knows. And that is, this is all on Illiman and what he wants to do. So there were some concerns because his wife were apparently on Facebook selling all the furniture and things like that. Well, and she may well have been. But they've just had a new baby, and half of the people are reporting it's not a fire sale to move to France. They're moving, they were renting, and they're now buying in Sheffield. So you could look into that positively. Oh my God, they might be moving to France negatively. What I can definitely tell you is we've had no bid from Marseille, which won't come as a surprise to anyone. But what might come as a surprise to anyone is no one's been in contact with Illiman and Dye. Certainly not that his medal's aware of, and that would be the usual procedure. I believe this is all agent talk to try and get the move going, and that's just my opinion. But there's certainly no agreement in principle. There's nothing ready to go. Illiman hasn't agreed terms. He ain't close to agreeing terms with Marseille. They can't get close to what he could earn. There's no doubt about that. But I don't necessarily think this is money motivated. That's why it all comes back down to it's what Illiman wants. The club will not stand in Illiman's way if he wants to go, because he's been a fantastic asset, contributor, everything to the club. We'll get the best deal we can. But if he ends up going for 17 million, which is well below his market value, you cannot blame the club for that. That is purely because Illiman hasn't forced the move, makes it sound less amicable than it probably will be. But it's the board sort of agreeing to take a loss on what we could get because of his service to the club. So this is purely down to Illiman. There is a chance that all three scenarios still play out. That is, signs for Marseille, stays with us till the end of the season and walks out for nothing, signs a new deal. And I never thought that would be possible. But from what I'm hearing, it's a three-way split on which way it could go. And it's really difficult to call. So keep the faith, Blades. What I will say is Marseille also have just signed Renan Lodi, or agreed to sign Renan Lodi. Our mate Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that this is almost done. 13 million euros. They're not a cash-rich club, as we've talked about. So how much left in pot is there going to be for Illiman? Not entirely sure. I think that's a good sign for us that they're making 8-figure signings when they're scraping around for money. So keep the faith. He's not gone yet. He looked more than happy in training when he danced around, when he did a little back heel into net. He's an amazing player, and he'll be so missed. And I'll be annoyed now if he goes, because when we did our live other night, I found it really cathartic. And thank you to all the new members that joined as well. It's absolutely fantastic. It really supports the channel, so thank you. But I found it really cathartic talking to you all about, you know, one man. We're not a one-man club, and we can move on. We can stop worrying about the anxiety of him playing. Yeah, that's true, and I meant everything I said, and I'm not changing my tack now. But because you've started to creep in the thought of, well, maybe he even signs a new deal. Oh my word, I can't even get in that headspace, because it's a long road back, and I'll be so peeved. I'll get thinking about that. Me and Nick were talking about it last night, and I'll be so annoyed if I let myself believe that he could stay, and then we turn up Monday morning and he's sold to Marseille for 10 million. You'd be raging, wouldn't you? So he's not gone yet. He may not go. He may go. So we've just got to keep his fingers crossed on this, Blades, and roll with the punches. But whichever way it goes, let's get a decision early so the club can react accordingly. I think that's probably the most sensible thing for everybody involved. Speaking of Nick, I have got a chat set up with him coming up on the channel. He interviews everybody, as you know, on his channel, Chef United Way, which is far and away the leader in terms of subscribers. We'll catch you someday. No, who knows? But obviously, he's been a huge help to me. But nobody's really asked Nick about Nick, so I thought it'd be quite interesting. And I've asked our Ramblers to get together and put some questions together for him, and I've got a few questions of my own that I think you guys would want to hear. So, yeah, look out for that one coming shortly. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards, up the blade!